Hi Sagittarius, this is Kajora Lovely with your general reading for the month of March. I also did a general reading for all signs for the month of March where I talk about the astrology that's going on this month, the full moon, the moons, holidays, and I pulled some cards on the general themes of what everyone's going to be going through. So there's a link in the description box where you can check that out. Also, I am a tarot card reader. I'm also a Reiki healer, and I'm in the LA area. If you're ever interested in booking an in-person or distance reading or Reiki session, you can email me, and that information is also in the description box below. Okay, let's get into your general reading for the month of March. And for those of you who are curious, I'm reading with the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. The deck I first trained on. Got a lot of female energy in here this month. Okay, so where you are right now is the Empress in reverse. So this can often, it's an earth sign, earth element. This can mean that you maybe aren't feeling fully in your strength. So by the way, there is a lot of feminine energy this month, and that can relate to men or women because we all have feminine and masculine aspects within us. So it could be that for, whoever of you, there's feminine aspects that might feel strong, others that feel a little bit like they're not quite where they want to be. Because what's influencing you right now is the Queen of Pentacles. Not really coming into focus, but whatever. This is about feeling like you are strong, you can have beauty around you. This relates a lot to earth energy. So this could actually be a person. It could be an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, who's an influence in your life. Usually these are people who, this is someone who likes the finer things in life, likes to cultivate art, you know, like patronizing artists, having beauty in their life, that sort of thing. But where you are, you might be feeling like you're not quite in your full creative power. Now this is a little bit different because the Empress is usually the place where everything grows. I always see her as sort of the source of life. So it relates a lot to the sacral chakra, which is right below your belly button. And that is about, that's the place where your creativity is born. That's the birthplace for your ideas. That's where they come out of you. It's no accident that it's also the place of female reproductive organs. So it's that idea of that's where you birth a baby. That's where you come up with ideas. That's where you take something and create it into life, right? So whether that applies to you literally in the form of fertility or in the sense of creativity, there could be some blockages that you're experiencing that may have you feeling like you're not in your full feminine power. And I feel for some of you that could be kind of disorienting, and it could be because you have this masculine influence in your life. So this is interesting because these are actually counterparts, the King and Queen of Pentacles. So this is the Queen of Pentacles is influencing you, and so is the King of Pentacles. So this could be two earth signs. It could also be the earth element of wanting to feel grounded, of feeling safe, maybe a little bit stubborn for some reason, feeling like you want more stability, boundaries in your life. You want more joy, abundance, beauty. You want those things for yourself. And so these could be people influencing you, or it just could be that general energy. Because when it's masculine and feminine, either it's two people who are very similar, or it's just that all that energy is hitting you at once. Masculine and feminine. So what's crowning you is the Ace of Pentacles. Now this is usually, there's Earth again. So I see that as new work, new job, new home, new form of money, new form of income. I'll pull another card on that one. Oh, it fell out. Oh, so you got the Emperor, which almost everyone has been getting this month, which can relate to the sign of Aries, but it's also about feeling strong. So the thing here is the difference between the King of Pentacles strong and the Emperor strong. Is the King of Pentacles... So actually what's kind of funny though, is if you look at both these guys, leg armor, leg armor. These are two men who are similar in the sense that they've had to fight for their position. They've had to fight for what they've accomplished. Now, this could also relate to the fact that Aries starts in the second half of this month. Because you're fire, Aries is fire. You relate in that sense. And there's some, you know, with everyone you share your element with, there's certain things that you have in common. Someone's saying something about fire in the belly, but they're saying it kind of funny. Like fire in the underbelly, fire in the gold belly, fire in the gold. So I would take that as you're really trying to make that gold, make that money. And it's interesting. Because in some ways you're not that different from the Scorpio reading in the sense that you want money. And in some ways, you kind of don't care how you get it. And I think it's more that you want to feel grounded. Because also, what's in the short term is still that feeling of imbalance, and that's in your external life. So, and it's funny that you got this, because almost everyone else has gotten the card for you, by the way, which is Temperance. That's the card for Sagittarius. This is the card for Libra. This is about external balance. So there's something in there that's out of whack. And it's funny because everyone else has been getting that there's an emotional internal balance. Justice is external, the external world. There's something out of balance with the way everyone is dealing with you, right? Which would make sense why the other signs are getting that. So there's something kind of wonky going on there that could make you feel, maybe a little defensive. Maybe a little bit like you're not enough, you're not good enough, you're not ready, you're not willing. You're not ready to go forward. So you feel like you have to fight for what you want. That's interesting. And I say that's interesting because you've got this at the base of you, of your reading, the Magician, which is a reminder of your power, of what you're capable of, your manifesting abilities, your ability to get what you want, that it's using the tools you have available, your elements available to get what you want in life. But it's also remembering this sort of the magic inside of you that you have to bring that forward into your life. But it could also be that you might be feeling a little emotional at this point in time because you've got the Queen of Cups upright where you are. Now, this also means, though, that you're mastering your emotions. It could just be that empathy is driving you. I heard empathy is a son of a bitch. So usually that's about empathy. It's also about being mature, taking the high road. So it could feel like, for some of you, you might be feeling a little too emotional, which we're starting this month in Pisces season, and Mercury's in Pisces, and Neptune's in Pisces. Well, not everything's in Pisces, but it's still a lot of Pisces energy, because that means that you're feeling it. You're feeling those emotions. They're there. And it actually, what I get from this card is there's sadness about that you're kind of feeling bad about having feelings. They're feelings. It's okay. I mean, I feel like it's not so much that it's bad you're feeling feelings. It's what you do with them, right? You don't need to hold them against yourself or hold them against anyone else. It's more about being cognizant and aware of them and figuring out what to do with them. But with this, I'm kind of getting a little bit of this imbalance because you've got this, I feel too emotional, I need to take a power grab of, and that could be where this imbalance is, that you're not really sure how to find the equilibrium. So instead, while one is weaker and one's stronger, I'm trying to go like this. You're kind of like, fuck it, we're just gonna move something forward. I don't care what it is, we're just moving it forward. Doesn't matter. Well, that's a rough one. So also, March 21st is the day of the vernal equinox, when the hours of daylight and nighttime are out of balance. So that might be a powerful time around that time to do some meditations about finding balance within yourself. You could also look like on YouTube and see if there are any sort of binaural beats or meditation music that's about balance. There are also some that I've used in Reiki sessions that help balance the feminine and masculine energy inside of you. So you could also check some of those out. I mean, you could start doing it now. There's really no reason why you couldn't. But it's also an idea, if you're not feeling ready yet, to do that around the vernal equinox to help find that balance within you. So all of that is leading you toward this. So this card in the future position is Judgment. This is about a spiritual awakening, an epiphany, a realization. But it's in reverse. So truth time. What are the lessons you're avoiding? What is the awakening that you don't want to have? What is the realization that you're afraid of? Usually when this is in reverse, it's because there's something, some consequence, some realization, some epiphany, some outcome that you are afraid of, that you don't want, that you're nervous about, that you feel will be bad. So what's interesting is after that, you might be moving on to focus on some new projects, but you've got an ending coming with this Ten of Swords. There's some kind of ending that is coming, and you will still have to leave something behind. So this is usually what happens a lot with tarot readings, is often the thing that you're avoiding will chase you. It happens to everybody. You know, it's because those are the lessons you're meant to learn, and you'll keep repeating them until you learn them. So the other thing too is that you might, whatever the lesson is, you might outrun it this time, but it'll still come to haunt you again in the future. And it's often, even if it's a lesson you felt like you've learned before, if it's repeating itself, there's still more to learn. There's still another layer there. You know, when I first started getting into healing, one of the things I heard another healer share was how she would work on something and then kind of move up a level. And then there'd be another layer, and then she'd have to work on that and heal that and then move up, and then there'd be something else. And she was like, yep, you just got to keep going up. And I remember learning that, thinking, oh, right, that makes sense. Just because you evolved past whatever that original lesson was doesn't mean that there aren't all these layers, like a trifle, that you have to work through. And believe me, I've done it. I'm still doing it. It's something that all of us have to go through. Nobody is immune. As long as you're alive, you're going to have to go through some of this stuff, because there's always going to be some realization or epiphany or lesson learned or something, some heartache, some heartbreak, some new ending, some new beginning, some ending, always happening. That's life. It goes in cycles and phases. That's literally what the holidays are about. Especially the pagan holidays. It's all about following the circle of the sun. You know, you have we're coming into the time when light and dark will be balanced, and then you're going to move into the summer solstice when we have more daylight. Then you go to the autumn equinox where they're balanced, and then we go darker, and then it goes to the winter solstice, and then it starts all over again. It's the same thing with us. You have highs and lows and cycles, and all of it happens. And it feels like, just saying, if you don't have this now, this awakening now, you will have it later. It will come up. So it's up to you. But it feels like this balance feels feels pretty uncomfortable for some of you. And with this, it feels like you may find something to distract you at a certain point, but there is still a lesson that needs to be learned that's coming up, some ending that's going to happen. And sometimes with this card too, just FYI, I take this as you can't get more dead than 10 swords on your back. You know, whatever it is, it's often like, let it die. When it's in reverse, I often see that as you've accepted that, you're moving on from it. But this, it's often like you still have to learn the painful lesson that sometimes if it's not the thing isn't meant to be, you need to know when to walk away. So I would say this can go a couple ways. If it's just that the universe steps in and ends it for you, you move on, or there's an opportunity for you to have that realization, that epiphany, that awakening, and then to move on and move forward. Yeah, so that is your reading for the month of March. I hope that you guys have a wonderful month. And if you want some extra guidance for what's going on, also don't forget to check out my video. That's a general all signs reading for the month of March. And that link is in the description box. I hope you have a wonderful month, Sagittarius. And I'll see you again next month.